I love this movie. I want to see this movie again. Welcome to Junker's Review. We're going to talk about and review a very good Disney movie, Haunted Mansion. Saw the movie last night, enjoyed it immensely. We don't start out immediately at the Haunted Mansion. We actually start out...
Is it Matthias or Matthias or whatever?
Matthias? Well, he starts out as an astrophysicist who creates lenses for NASA. We meet him at a bar.
Anyway, he meets his wife. His wife gets killed in a car wreck.
Well, actually, we don't know how she died at first. We meet back up with him when he's at a bar. And this is the funniest scene. He asks for a drink, and he says, having a bad day, and he goes, how can you tell? Because you smell like yesterday. That was a funny line. I hate to say it, that was a funny line. So we're at the point now where he's went from happy to... He's no longer a physicist. He's very depressed. And now he is... His wife, she did tours. She did haunted tours. And now he does haunted tours. And you mentioned the camera he created. He created a camera so he could see spirits. So he can hope to see his wife again. But again, I love this movie. I want to see this movie again.
We meet Gabby and her son. They've moved into this mansion. They find out it's haunted with ghosts.
Okay, one thing that I couldn't understand is her being a doctor. How did she afford to buy this mansion fully furnished?
Anytime she drags somebody to that house, once they leave, a ghost goes with them. And she does this with several people. Ben gets visited by a priest, Father Kent. He's wanting him to go visit the mansion, photograph the ghost. Ben goes, is paid for his visit, just basically jerks Gabby and her kid around a little bit. He doesn't really take it seriously. Then he leaves. He's haunted. He comes back. He's mad because she didn't quite disclose to him that he was going to be haunted. So at this point, they just basically start getting a Scooby gang together. They go out and they hire this Harriet, who's a psychic, who's funny. I think Harriet's the best one in the movie, actually.
We find someone who can communicate with these ghosts.
People used to eat here.
I told you, she's good.
It's a dining room.
I do too. And every time we meet a new character, they get introduced. It is well written and it's so funny. It isn't like, hey, just come along. This movie is so well written.
It's getting kind of savaged in the reviews a little bit, and I don't think all of that's deserved. Because you're right. They go get Danny DeVito's character. He's a professor. I don't remember what his name is. What is his name? Professor Bruce Davis. How do you not remember Bruce? All the gangs together. Yeah, they contact Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Madame Leota, another funny character, and well written.
I didn't at first think that she was right for the part because I honestly thought they should have had someone younger, more youthful looking. But she was so funny. Oh my God. Yeah.
Madame Leota tells them that the person, William Gacy, had purchased the mansion. I don't know if he was married at the time. His wife ended up dying. He tried to get Leota to contact her a lot, like over the course of like a year or two, every single night. And every time they did this, it was like bringing ghosts out or something. He was kind of breaching a portal that he shouldn't have been messing with. He ends up releasing a truly awful entity.
His name is Alistair Crump. The way they figure out who this person is just the funniest. I'm not going to give any of the scene away, but it's the funniest scene.
Are you talking about the police station?
Yeah. Okay,
Oh
you
my
seen it in
God.
the trailer, but you didn't. You haven't seen the full. You haven't seen the full scene. You just seen some of it in the trailer.
That
It
was
is
funny.
so funny. Oh my goodness.
I like that scene. Alistair Crump needs 1,000 souls before he's released from the house. He's basically got 999, so he just needs one more soul. It has to be a willing soul. And
Okay, I was confused on that part. Is he freed from the house, or is he freed to be more substantial? Because they can all leave the house.
I don't think he can leave the house, actually. That's
Okay.
actually a good point. Hold
Because
on.
they ghosts leave the house to bring the other people back.
A 1,000th spirit to escape the mansion. That doesn't make sense in terms of this plot of this movie because the ghosts all leave the house all the damn time as it is.
There's a scene at the end of the movie. I'm not going to give it away because it's hilarious, but there's a scene in the movie where one of the ghosts just leave. He just leaves. So yeah, there's a plot hole there.
It's a Disney movie. He doesn't end up getting the 1,000th soul. He ends up getting defeated.
Okay, I thought this movie was so funny and so well written, and it was what you would hope a little horror movie like this would be.
It wasn't a horror movie.
It's kind of a horror movie. You know, it's ghost. You know, it's a haunted mansion. We got ghosts. We got evil ghosts, and we've got good ghosts, but we still got ghosts.
I think we were both surprised because it was a Disney movie and we liked it. And that's been a while.
Yeah,
What didn't have some obnoxious feminist character in it. It didn't have some kind of binary character or any of that crap going
and
on.
it didn't have man. You know, it wasn't demasculating men.
No, Ben was able to play a if the weirdos that have been making Disney movies lately had made this movie, Ben would have been totally upstaged by Gabby. He wasn't in this movie. He more or less helped save the day just as much as everybody else did.
And he has a great character arc. He went from being an introvert, shy person who met someone who brought him out, and then he had a tragedy. He had a low point. He met people who helped him have a purpose again. Then he ended up finding a new relationship. He had a full arc.
Yeah, because
something Disney has not been doing lately for a male character.
No, he ends up. You're right. He ends up basically getting together with Gabby at the end.
And Gabby isn't, even though she owns the house. Her son is there. Travis. They're not the real focal point of the movie. It's his character arc, not Gabby's, so not her son. It is a little bit. The son is a little introverted, shy, kind of awkward.
Special effects were good.
Yes.
So you don't remember
talk.
You don't remember the ride. I asked you during the movie. I remember the ride. We weren't in Disney World all that long ago. They really did a good job recreating some of that stuff.
And even Owen Wilson's character, he starts out as one character. We find out that he's not who he says he is, but then he has an arc. He goes from being someone not reputable or on the up and up to someone who could trust, someone who does. Every one of these people have these huge arcs, except for Professor Bruce Davis. His character is pretty much the same.
Well, Danny DeVito, he's just kind of there for comic relief, I think.
Oh, he was funny. His dialogue, him being almost 80, he's still he's amazing. He was amazing in this movie. The dialogue written for him was amazing in this movie. Jared Leto, I do not know if he ever said a word in this movie. Anyone could have been playing his character. Alistair Grump, the ghost. The only time we see Jared Leto actually is in pictures, old photographs of what he was like in life. But I'd have to look it up to even see if that was his voice in the movie. Why is my internet connection unstable? I have like high-speed internet. This computer is not what they advertised. I'll tell you that.
The movie has been getting so reviews. It could have perhaps been a little bit faster paced. I thought the actors were I particularly liked the guy that played Ben Matthias, the main actor. I thought just his deadpan way of delivering lines was great. I liked the Harriet. I liked the psychic. There wasn't a character in the movie that I probably didn't like. you'll have fun if you see this movie.
Yeah, LaKeith Stanfield, he goes from playing, happy, then when he's scared, you can really see it in his face. When he's surprised, he does an excellent job. And his little slide comments, or you have to watch the movie to understand what I'm saying about his little comment, how he says them. He's a really good actor. I hope he's in many more things.
I mean, out of the movies that are out right now, I would say go see this movie. You go see this movie, you're going to have a good time. Your friends are going to have a good time. Your family's going to have a good time. You go see Barbie, everybody's going to be pissed off.
But don't go into this movie with some preconceptions about how Disney movies have been in the past 2 years.
And that's a good thing.
Do not do that. Yeah, that's a good thing. Do not do that. Go in thinking this movie's going to be great. Don't go in apprehensive thinking you're going to see something that will this be appropriate for my children? Not visually, but what they're going to be hearing. This is not going to have any of that in it. This is an amazing movie.
I would say that maybe this was going to be the sign of things to come, but then again, I don't think that's the case. I think Disney's about to roll out the Marvels, which is going to suck.
Look behind. Look at your back screen.
Yeah, Snow White. It's going to suck. I mean, they are just a ship of fools. So this somehow made it out unscathed, and I would go support it. It didn't have a big opening weekend. It went up against this ridiculous Barbie and Oppenheimer machine. Really, to be honest, this movie and Mission Impossible 7 are the two movies out right now that I really like. And I wish we're doing a little bit better.
This is what a Disney movie should be. This is what Disney movies should be. This is a throwback to an old Disney movie where you have a great character arc, like I've said before, great characters, funny lines. When you see this movie, you'll be quoting this movie. This movie is so funny, and you'll want to see it again, just for the Easter eggs or things you've missed, because you see a scene and you're laughing, or you're replaying the scene in your mind, and then you've missed that scene. The following scene, you're like, "Oh, I'll have to go see that movie again," because I totally zonked out on that scene because I was laughing still. I was still mentally laughing at the last scene.
So you saw the other Haunted Mansion?
Yes, the 2003 with it had Eddie Murphy in it. I can't remember the woman who played his wife. It had who's the guy who plays Zod? Star. He was in it, but the whole reason everyone's a ghost was totally different. It was a totally different setup. They didn't own the house. They were in the 2003. Him and Eddie Murphy and his wife were real estate agents, and they were contacted by the owner, supposedly the owner of the house, to come and sell the house, come and look at it. And they had to go down to Florida, somewhere. I think they were in the Everglades or somewhere. I don't remember exactly where they were. And yeah, it was a totally different premise. The reason he was contacted is because his wife looked like the woman of a woman who died. That was going to be the fiance of the. It was a very confusing story. It wasn't that good. It's not. The only reason I remember it is I don't know why I remember it. This movie is 10 times better. If you're going to see one, don't see that one. See this.
All right.
Because they were trying to kill Eddie Murphy's wife in the last one. That was the point of the movie, was to get his wife to commit.
I haven't seen it.
Don't see it. There's no point in it. It's a terrible movie.
I'm going to see it. So anyway, I'll recommend this movie. This was good.
Excellent movie. 2 thumbs up. Oh my goodness, go see this movie. It's not it's a real Disney movie. It's what Disney movies should be. You'll even like the very end of it. It's hilarious. It's funny throughout.
Oh, are you talking about? Are you talking about the closing credits scene?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was good. I thought that was pretty. That was nice.
About he has to have 1,000 souls to leave the house. Another ghost can freely move about.
I don't think we're going to resolve that.
I think they should have said, I think they, instead of just leaving the house, he should have said, well, if I get 1,000 souls, I can become more substantial. I can affect the real world or affect the world of the living. That would be more plausible, and that would be a good reason. Just leaving the house is a loophole because every ghost can leave the house.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Why? You're left the same question you and I have. Why did he need 1,000 souls to leave the? When the other ones, as soon as you cross the threshold, the ghosts chase you no matter where you go. They went to New York. Remember, they went to New York. They got apartments. They traveled all over the country trying to get away, and they were forced back.
Well, I guess we can encourage people to go see it. I mean, this movie had a $150 million budget. It doesn't look like it's gonna it's gonna need to make about $350 million. It's kind of a hard time doing that. And they've released so many big movies this summer, back to back to back, and they're all cannibalizing each other. Got over the last 8 weeks, 8 decent sized movies have come out. Well, some theaters only have 8 screens. The Regal Riviera in downtown Knoxville only has 8 screens, I believe.
8 screens. Riviera has 8 screens. The Downtown West has 8 screens.
It's true, yeah, that one.
And so does
Cinnabar has 8 screens.
8 screens.
Yeah.
We has the AMC theater the 16.
Yeah, no, it's closed. There's no more AMC theaters in Knoxville. Not that I ever went to one, but
this movie should have come out at Halloween.
That's what my wife said. I mean, this movie would have made more sense around Halloween. I don't know why they released it in the middle of summer. Yeah, you're right.
This movie would have done a great job at Halloween. I don't understand why they brought it out weeks after these other 3 blockbusters. Unless Disney intentionally wanted this movie to fail.
That's a possibility. I mean, there are people playing politics inside the studio trying to make this movie look bad. I mean, there were people at Lucasfilm trying to make Jon Favreau look bad after he brought Luke Skywalker back at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. I mean, this is a screwed up company. There are people in this company that can't stand their customer base. There are certain people in this company that seem to loathe the people that are supposed to be buying their,
They loathe the nuclear family is what they loathe.
Anyway.
I think so. The mother-father dynamic, that's my opinion. You can scratch that out if you want later.
I'll be doing that, but anyway.
Where's that blue? Where's that blue light coming from? It's like making my shirt all glowy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And please go see this movie.
Can you hear me?
Hold on my screen.